No, no, hold your applause. That's fine. All right, this is actually myself and Chandra, who is right there in the hallway, walking up. We started a nonprofit group called Spark Arts a couple years ago. And what that does is it brings art to the community. And we started it with a thing called Mural Blast in downtown Midland, where we shut the street down, we bring artists in, they paint murals, and at the top of every hour, each artist grabs a kid, and then they have an art battle in the middle of this whole thing. And during the art battle, it's hyped up like WWF. It's crazy. I mean, you know, the kid will grab a green crayon and be like, oh my God, I grabbed a green crayon! You know, and the kids just go crazy, parents really love it. And so it really started to kick in. And out of those different projects that we did, we started going through these kids. All of a sudden, we just started drawing constantly. And we get phone calls from parents. They're crying and they say, oh my God, my kid is drawing now and doing this and popular at school and blah, blah, blah. You know, so we started Spark Arts. And part of Spark Arts is we've done a fundraiser. And so Les is part of that fundraiser. And so he agreed to come here, do a concert for you people. I've known Les quite a few years now. He's been on our podcast all the time. And he will be on stage here in just a minute. The raffle that's in the back, there's all kinds of goodies in there. And the proceeds to that, 50% go to Spark Arts so we can buy art kits to hand out to the kids during our other public art events. So he's getting ready. I'm going to go back, kick him in the butt, and have him out here in a minute.
All right.
Sorry, wrong one.
Hey, how y'all doing? So, let's do this here. I'm gonna just open up by playing right away, and then I'll let you know how this evening's gonna go, in case there happens to be people who are a little more familiar with the other career that I have. You know I have another career, right? Which we can get into, absolutely. But first, let me do this. This is actually a song about, I guess in the end, it's a song about moving on. Paper falls from a birch tree, and the honey is gone from the hive. my time is done, and I'm leaving it all behind. When ice forms on my shoulders and the snow blows through my mind, I'll know my mind is done, and I'm leaving it all behind. Oh, I never really wanted to see the end of all the living we had to do. We all are lost if we let go. We all are lost, but not alone. When rain hits hard on my window, the tears hit hard on my soul. I'll know my life is done, and I'm leaving it all behind. Oh, I never really wanted to see the end of all the loving we had to give. We all are lost if we let go. We all are lost, but not alone. A tree falls in the forest, and a heart falls in time, and I know my love is done, and I'm leaving you to I'm leaving it all behind. 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 Yeah. There we go. Thank you. So we're going to find out tonight. I'm just going to take a wild stab at this and assume you might have heard of a show called Survivorman. So some of you probably came in going, so what's he going to do? Like build shelters on the stage? Or... Don't worry, it's okay. I still get that. No, I'm going to do this. Where's this guy hanging here? Hang on. See, I have to do that in filming Survivorman too. Run my own gear. And it's just as frustrating. I don't know, some of you might have been here this morning. I actually did a little presentation for the kids at the Grace Dow Memorial Library. I think I got it right, Midland Library. Yeah, so it was really fun doing a presentation there for the kids. But then I noticed, you know, half the audience of kids were also all over 6 feet tall or 5 feet tall, so they were not kids. That's been the most interesting thing, is that over the years, you know, I'm now being approached by 32-year-olds going, yeah, man, I grew up watching you. I'm saying, oh, so old now. But they're bringing their kids into the world of Survivorman, which has really been wonderful. So tonight, what is going to happen is I'm going to take you on a little bit of a musical journey and a Survivorman journey. Because the songs that I've chosen kind of walk through my world chronologically a bit, especially this next song. They do, for me, they sort of tell the story of what I've been through from before Survivorman and through into Survivorman and then beyond. And then, for those of you who are Survivorman fans, about halfway through, I'm going to stop playing and we're going to do a little Q&A. So have your questions ready, think of them up, and whatever you want to know, happy to talk about anything to do with survival, maybe even Bigfoot, who knows. This next song is very old. I wrote it a long time ago. And I wrote it while watching some video footage I'd shot of my daughter, who was about 5 or 6. And her name is Raylan, and so as I play, feel free to close your eyes. You'll find that a lot of my music, it's really authentically appropriate, because really I write a lot of music about time in nature, adventuring, connecting to nature. Sure, I wrote love songs too, but so close your eyes and have a listen, because this song is about paddling a canoe. So think of just being in a canoe, and the glass is, the water is like glass, and maybe you're drifting down a gentle river or something like that. And so this song's called Paddling with Raylan. Thank you very much. A long time ago, again, going way back, there was a period of time. Are some of you familiar with a film that I made called Snowshoes and Solitude? If you're not, you should get familiar with it. It really is the beginnings of Survivorman. It was about a year, full year. Interestingly enough, or for me anyway, I've been kind of ruminating on this recently about this concept of kind of getting out of the city and living in a log cabin in the wilderness and going off and doing this. And not to be a downer, but it's actually, it's much more of a challenge than people think, I think. And you know, it's amazing when you get out there that you can't do that unless you're willing to kind of basically completely turn your back on all of the rest of society, including your family, friends, everything, everybody. Because once you're out there, it really just comes down to the firewood. That's it. It's all about firewood. and you live a completely different life. And it is romantic for a time. It also can be exceedingly lonely. And but the year in the bush that I had spent with my then wife, her name was Sue, was an amazingly romantic year. And I did a film about it called Snowshoes and Solitude. And back during that time, I'd done that film, but I was still kind of in between that and Survivorman. And I was still dreaming about what might be possible in my own life. And so I wrote this song, boy, a long time ago. And it was about getting a new life. That's about it. It's called New Life Now. I brought the band though, watch. Let's get out of this town. I'm tired of all the boredom, I'm sick of hanging around. Everyone here's wasted and they only bring me down. Yeah, yeah. South Dakota borders are not so hard to cross. 2 days on the prairies, all your fears are tossed. Headed for the mountains, headed for the sea. I wonder if the coastline has a home where I can be. New life now. The one only chance to be free gets harder and harder to see. I've got my head in the clouds. It feels like I'm restless, I can see you're tired. So have another coffee, you might as well get wired. Get up from the sofa, kill the damn TV. New life now. One only chance to be free gets harder and harder to see. Feels like home. coming from your soul. Don't wait for better weather or the melting of the snow. Nope, life is made for living, loving as you go. New life now. One only chance to be free is harder and harder to see. I've got my head in the clouds and it feels like home. Yeah, it feels like home. New life now. New life now. Yeah, yeah, Woo! Should know better than warming up with that song. Sit down again. So I mentioned this film called Snowshoes and Solitude. And when I was producing the film for it, I thought, well, I need to have a bit of a theme song. And so I ended up writing this song before we spent the year living in the wilderness. It was what I was imagining the wilderness, what it would be like. And it turned out to be very right. So this is the song, Snowshoes and Solitude. Snow, winter, spruce boughs for a floor, fur, fire, keep my body warm. Where eagles fly and the caribou lie is where I've got to be. The wolf waits there for me, and you. Snowshoes and solitudes, what I dream of. A world of wind and water to explore. Keep a fire burning in the shelter. Walk across the ice to the shore. Aurora borealis, so powerfully entertained, burning like a forest fire, wild and untamed. She dammed the rivers and built the roads and cut the old growth down until there's nothing left but ground and dust. And us. Snowshoes and solitudes, what I dream of. A world of wind and water to explore. Keep a fire burning in the shelter. Walk across the ice to the shore. Snow, winter, spruce boughs for a floor, fur and fire, keep my soul warm. Snowshoes and solitudes, what I dream of. A world of wind and water to explore. And that's what it's like. Thank you. Now those words, so much of the lyrical content that I come up with and try to come up with really does come from that place of spending a lot of time in a canoe, or sleeping out in the winter. Musically speaking, I was, many years ago, again, these are real old ones I'm doing right now, I was working with learning different techniques from people like Mississippi John Hurt, and that took me to this song. It's a song of mine called Free to Be. And whenever I get to the chorus of this, I know there's somebody going, oh man, yeah, no kidding, man. You'll hear it coming. Something to do with a 40-hour work week. It's called Free to Be. The wind is light, the sky is blue. My heart is heavy when I don't have you, and I miss you. Like a parched land misses rain. I camp on the land, a boat on the sea. Life ain't life if you can't be free to live it. You always find a way. 40 hours of work week were never meant for me. Lately I've been bitten by the bug that sets us free. Wilderness wandering and ocean waves are calling. Standing in a forest you can hear when trees are falling. Oh, 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 this is free. Oh, 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 free to be. Oh, 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 this is free. A little to the right, a little to the left, a lot in the middle, 'cause it feels so right just loving you. Beneath the sun, beneath the moon. Years they come and years they go. All I know is they all go by too soon. Don't waste your days away, 'cause 40 hours of work week were never meant for me. Lately I've been bitten by the bug that sets us free. And wilderness wandering and ocean waves are calling. Standing in a forest you can hear when trees are falling. Oh, 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 this is free. Oh, 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 free to be. Oh, 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 this is free. All aboard! All right, so let's, once again, turning to sentiments that we all have, I'll do this next song. It's one of the first songs I ever learned. I can actually do this song tonight. I was going to do another cover song. I won't even tell you what it is because then I don't want to disappoint you. But then I realized that I actually have my YouTube going live. So you guys are all stars now, by the way, because you can be seen. There we go. So I've got YouTube going live. And if I play like this cover song I was going to do, I get shut down for copyright infringement. I know. It was a really, really good rendition of Into the Mystic, too. I know. I was like, oh, you should have done it. I'll do it privately later. So I'll do this one because I know I won't get caught. But I got to teach it to the band. Wow, listen to that. The band is rebelling on me tonight. Let's try it one more time. Oh, last night I slept in the open, down by the riverside. Yes, last night I slept in the open, just to let my soul free. I don't wanna go back to the city. No, I don't wanna go back to the city. No, I don't wanna go back to the city. It's just a long lonely taxi ride. I'm going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere. side. Yes, last night I slept in the open, just to let my soul free. I don't wanna go back to the city. Said I don't wanna go back to the city. It's just a long lonely taxi ride, going nowhere. It's just a long lonely Uber ride, going nowhere. All right, so I'll tell you what. Let me pull up a chair. Let's go to storytelling time, shall we? So, hang on. Let me take this guy off and put him down here, since there's no stand. So, some of you saw that show called Survivorman, did you? It's actually been, I delivered the pilot to the network in the year 2001. So I filmed the pilot in the year 2000. If you can imagine that. So it's been that long, and it's been an insane ride all around the world that led to the Beyond Survival series, led to the Bigfoot series, and now I have the series Wild Harvest on PBS. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but if you have not, that's Stroud's Wild Harvest. And the easiest thing I ever produced. It's so much fun. Basically, I spend a day picking dandelions, and then I give it to Chef Paul Rogowski, and he turns it into a meal the next day. Show's done. But it's so much more than that. It's beautiful. I get to tell you the story of fireweed or the dandelion or stinging nettle or something like that, and then kind of teach you about it and stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's about local foraging and then taking it into the kitchen. So it's been this very long journey, and that's kind of what I'm doing musically too. It's like, music's been here for a long time in my life, since I was 14 years old. So I try to bring that into what I do with these kind of lyrics. But let's open it up. I know some of you, bless you. I know some of you got something. Let me remember the name. Is that Oscar? No.
Yes.
Oscar, I got the name right. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Let's go. If there's go ahead. You, sir. You first.
What's your favorite dish from Wild Harvest so far?
What's my favorite dish from the Wild Harvest series? That's tough, because it's also really delicious. Paul's an amazing chef, but I don't. If he blows it, I say it on camera. So like everything I do, it's got to be authentic, right? So when he doesn't really hit it out of the park, I'm like, dude, it's okay, but I'm gonna say, what do I want to go with? Oh, you know what? We caught some rainbow trout in one episode, the Pitt River in British Columbia, Canada, and what he did with that was unbelievable. That whole show. I don't know if you've seen that episode yet. Gosh, you might not have, because it's season 2. So I'm giving it up a bit here, but in one episode, so get ready for this. In one episode, we're down there, and he's cooking. He was doing a steak, and I can't remember. It was an episode based on the spruce tree. I think I just based it on the spruce tree, and so spruce needles and this and that. And we're filming a scene, and I'm sitting down, and I'm finished doing my little talk about the meal that he just gave me, and Paul's here, and the cameraman's there, and I look over at the other stick he left on the table, and there was a massive black bear 6 inches away from that steak, with it just reaching up with his nose. He's like, just gonna gently take this. He was like, they won't even notice me, and he's just gonna pull it. So we jump, and the whole thing got caught on camera, so it's in the show. I jump up and I chase the bear off, and then later on, the bear comes back and joins us up at the camp, which was about a mile away, and he's just laying down on the grass, chewing on grass, kind of looking over at us. And he was massive, and it was spring. So I can't imagine what he'd be like in the fall, because he was huge in the spring. So we got that on the episode. Thanks for that. I love doing that series. It's a lot of fun. Any more? Yes, sir.
So, as someone who has an entire career in nature, how does Les Stroud spend nature for himself, like not on camera?
So when I'm on my own, comfortably. How about that? Very comfortably. Do you go out and survive? You know, when you're on your... No. And, you know, it's not that I mean even be negative about it. I mean, I used to. Quite a lot, you know, when I was training and learning and stuff like that. But I'm still an adventure canoeist. I'm still a whitewater nut. I love my long distance whitewater trips. And I'm not talking about whitewater playing, like play boating. I'm talking about all your stuff's in the canoe. And you're going down a river for 4 or 5, 7, 12 days, 30 days, you know. I love that. So long distance Arctic whitewater canoeing. And then I'm a backpacker and a hiker. So adventure, but high tech. And I was telling this story this morning, you know, there's an art form to being comfortable in the wilderness. Really is. So the survival stuff, that's fine. That's all what it is. There's a skill set there, and it's good. It's kind of protective. But if you're going camping with me, we're going to have the best tents, the best sleeping bags, the finest scotch, the best food. You know, it's just going to be because and it's just you get out there and yeah, there's really nothing like it. So comfortably. But very adventuresome still. I still get out all the time. Yes, down here.
From everything that you did, Survivorman, Bigfoot, Beyond Survival, everything, what is the most interesting thing or things that you learned about yourself?
Oh, are you my counselor? Well, now, Les, what does this say about you, Les? What did I learn about myself? And I do not want to answer this in a trite fashion. I suppose in the end that, I'm really a stick in the mud when it comes to my authenticity and being me. I could have made a lot more money, but I like to sleep and I like to, when my son was young or my daughter was young, I'd like to kiss them goodnight and know that I'm not a fraud, and so it taught me how far I would go to stay being me and to not sell out. There were easy compromises to make once in a while in the name of the dollar or something like that, but not if it meant lying or being a phony or anything like that. So even to this day, you can imagine I get approached still to this day for different sponsors and things like that. But why do I want to make a few bucks and help advertise a casino slot game? It's got nothing to do with me. So it taught me that. It showed me my line, I suppose, and the lines that I would not cross. And it showed me that I had the ability to stare in the face of high-powered executives with a lot of power and be willing to say, well, we either do it my way or I'm not doing it. And knowing that they might just say, fine, we're not going to do it, and I walk out of the room. And funnily enough, they never said that. So I think it taught me that, staying really true. And then the second part of that was that I'm kind of lost without the wilderness. I truly am. It's my go-to, and that my connection to nature will always be the strongest component of my emotional, spiritual life. And so it showed me that. And there was a process. In fact, it's a nice segue to a song I'll do it. But there's a process where there was a time when even Survivorman, and not being Survivorman, not teaching survival, not making the films, but the business behind the scenes became such an anchor that even that became, I was losing my faith in it. I wasn't into it anymore. And that's how I ended up doing Beyond Survival. I had to get back to somewhere that was really about connecting to nature. Because at the time I was teaching all these skills and trying to connect you to nature through outdoor skills. And then along comes, the business side. After, with all the stuff that went on after. And that I hated that. I hated all of the business of television. So it just taught me, about staying true. And I'm not trying to be virtue signaling or being over humble here. I'm on stage. Clearly I have an ego. But and that ego kept me strong in the boardrooms. Say, no, it's my way or the highway, so to speak. I saw another hand in behind you there. Yeah.
During your filming of Survivorman, what was your favorite episode and your least favorite episode to film?
Favorite to film and least favorite to film. Tricky. I really enjoyed a lot of them. I had a lot of camera issues filming the Mexico 10-day one. Boy, it's such a cop-out to say I love them all, but I really did have so much. There was so much fun in the filming side of it. But I suppose I'd give it up for the Arctic. And the reason is I used to say that when you go to the Arctic with the camera in your hands and you want to take a picture, you could throw it on the ground and it's going to get a good angle. Like, it's just everywhere stunning and beautiful and jaw-dropping. And I loved that. Like, I could prop up my 3 or 4 cameras, and it didn't matter where I put them. It's like, oh, let's see a beautiful backdrop. Oh, great. Oh, another beautiful. Oh, no, this is beautiful. No, that's beautiful. It was too beautiful, you know? Loved that. Made filmmaking easier, if you will. And I suppose if there were any times where that didn't happen, it might have gotten frustrating. Maybe India. India was a tricky one to film. There was the tiger and all of that stuff that went on. The surroundings were nice for a while, but there's some behind-the-scenes stories that I'm not going to tell you guys because I'm filming it on YouTube, because I'm going to put it on my director's commentary when I do India. Let's just say I got interrupted. Big time. When I was filming India alone by myself in Tiger Territory. But yeah, I'd say India was a tough one to film. Really, really, really tough. It was one of the later ones too. Over the side. Yes, in the far. Yeah.
So Bigfoot. No.
Who?
When you were filming Survivorman, was there any time, like off screen or the edited out stuff, where you were just full on having your own jam session out in the wilderness just to keep your sanity?
So was there any time where I kind of took advantage off camera to jam out, kind of chill out? No. What there was honestly meditative time. There were times where I had to just go and shake it out, and sometimes because rough stuff was going on with life. Other times, the aforementioned business dealings, a lot of that was rough, and I had to deal with that. So I had to shake that all out. And at the beginning of every Survivorman, I'd get dropped off, and people would, the crew would leave, and there was this moment of absolute silence when they would leave. And sometimes I wouldn't start filming for another 2 hours because I'd just sit there. And I had to allow myself to be connected to the land I was about to film in. It's like when I talk about time in wilderness, I'm very big talking about just go out and sit by a tree. Just go out and do free time in nature. Rock climbing and ropes courses and whitewater canoeing are great, but they're not free time in nature. They're activities in a natural setting. There's a big, big difference. So on a Survivorman, you got to imagine I've flown to Sri Lanka, and I'm the crew's there, and we're all laughing, all that stuff's going on for like a week, and I'm training, and I'm learning from somebody there for 5 days. And then finally, I'm going to be left alone. I can't go from 100 to and just stay at 100. I have to bring it down to 0. It takes a couple of hours, and so that more than anything, it wasn't so much jamming and having a good time, but there were moments when I'd see wildlife, but the camera wasn't nearby, and I was like, okay, this one's for me. I'm going to watch this wolf walk by. And there's no point in running to get the camera because I'll scare him. So moments like that were very special where I'd be like, just for me right now. Camera's not even on. I think there was one. Yeah, Oscar.
What out of the 3 shows you've ever made, or actually 4, out of the 4 shows you've made, which one was your favorite to film?
Which is my favorite to film? So that's out of Survivorman, Beyond Survival, Survivorman Bigfoot, and Wild Harvest. Not to mention there was Shark Week and all those other ones where I hosted and stuff. Survive This, that was fun. I loved that show, actually. I would say best to film. I mean, I could say Beyond Survival because I actually had a film crew with that one, and so we got to do all this beautiful, beautiful stuff. But me alone, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with Wild Harvest, but in the end, I'm very, very proud of Survivorman. I think I had something that was all my own, hadn't been done before, and I had this opportunity. So I would still say at this point, not that, well, I would go back. Here's something for you guys. I actually let the networks know. I was like, you guys want to do a Survivorman Returns series? Yeah. So I'm waiting. I'll wait and see if it's up to a network. See, it's up to an executive somewhere sitting in a boardroom with 5 other executives who, half of them are under 30 and never heard of me. So it's like, so I'm waiting for all that to happen. And but I'm keen. I'm in a good place. It's been a lot of years, and so it's like anything. It's like, I'm itching to do this again, sort of thing, and we'll see what happens. Any other? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm curious through all your episodes in various countries and throughout the states, how did you deal with licensing for like fishing and hunting?
So how did I deal with licensing and all the different places I went? Permits galore, and 9, 10, 12 months in advance. Yeah, oh yeah, tons. And we had to get permits for everything. So there's the general permits of being a Canadian filmmaker in foreign countries. I had to get those permits, working permits, specialty permits if I wanted to ask, well, can I fish or can I catch a game or something like that. And in one time, I'll tell you a sad story. One time, we were filming, you know the episode with the horses in Colorado? Remember I caught 2 little, I think rainbow trout?
Yeah.
A year later, so I was licensed and everything was fine. A year later, the Colorado Fish and Game Department called me up and said, we don't have, we see that you've done this thing and we don't have you on record, is that? And they charged me, wrote me a ticket for fishing without a license in Colorado a year later because they saw it on TV. Now, think about it, I could have just said, it wasn't true, but I could have said, they were rubber fish. I faked that. It's television. I could have just said that, right? And what are they going to do? There's absolutely nothing. Or I could have said, no, my friend gave them to me from his freezer, and I had them, because I'm just making a film, Dude, it's all fake. You know that, right? But it wasn't fake, and I, on my own principles, like, well, I'm not going to say that because no. It's like, no. I had to pay $65. And I got a ticket for fishing without a license in Colorado. It's like, really? Because they could not find my license on the computer system. And of course, about a year later, I don't still have it on file. It's gone somewhere. I asked my office, do we check everywhere? And we went through all the files from my filming, and no, there's no permit there. We got it though. We arranged it all, and I paid for the license in the first place. So yeah, it's just, yeah. And then, of course, I did get arrested in Alaska. Ugh. And that I blamed on my field producer, because I said, we're not in the park, right? Yeah, we're not in the park, Les. Well, we were in the park. $2,800 in fines later. Yeah, and boy, I was like looking at my field producer like, told you, And then, funnily enough, it was written up in the Alaskan Fish and Game, magazine thing, that, the internal department thing. And then someone at Discovery Channel was married to somebody, and all of a sudden I'm in a meeting with Discovery Channel. Oh, Les, we see that you were arrested. Well, the guy who gave me the charges in Alaska was a visiting criminal prosecutor. So it looked like I'd been hauled out with handcuffs. It was just like, criminal prosecutor James Brown arrested Survivorman Les Stroud in Alaska this week. It's like, no. It's just like, no, we were just too far into the park zone. We didn't have our permits, we had to pay some fines, and we were fine. But it looked like I was, so Discovery Channel was like freaking out. Of course, I looked like a badass. I'm like, yeah, I was thrown in jail, yeah. Why, what's the problem? Gave you a good show, didn't I? Made a profit, didn't you? Yes.
What's your favorite song that you've created so far?
My favorite song that I've created so far. From my Mother Earth album, I still am really partial to my, it's a big rock song called Into the Wind. I really love that song. I love playing it, I loved writing it. It's kind of epic, But I've just written a very brand new song I'm gonna play for you guys tonight that's kind of got me. It's very gentle, so, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Into the Wind is a favorite. Arctic Mistress is still, I love singing it, I love playing it, yeah. There was a hand in the back there. Yes?
Yeah, I'm curious about the Survivorman and Bigfoot series. I can't remember the exact episode, I think it was 7, 8, or 9, where you said you were walking out by yourself and you actually had like a telepathic moment.
Well, you want to go there, do you? We need to meet for with a good bottle of scotch later, and we'll chat about it. Survivorman Bigfoot was a fun and an intense experience, and it's so crazy. Like, I was interested in it as a documentary filmmaker because I was very interested in the phenomenon. And I'd also had some very strange experiences in the wilderness I couldn't explain. So as a documentary filmmaker, that's how I approached it, skeptically, and that's, if you watch the series, and it's held up really high because that's where I came from. I wasn't like, I wasn't being Bobo or all that sort of stuff and trying to, create sensationalism. I was just like, let's talk to some people and find out, right? But still to this day, and I'm talking to you guys over there on YouTube, I'll see a post, Bigfoot's fake, this is really, I really respected you, but I lost all respect when you went for the Bigfoot stuff. I'm just like, you really, seriously? Okay, well, I guess I lost one. Check that list. you know. Or how about hide user from channel? Click. So, and in the end, I'm a documentary filmmaker with some strange experiences I can't explain. I'm in the wilderness more than most people, and I loved it as a phenomenon, as an experience. The people who research Bigfoot, that's a phenomenon in itself, and really interesting stuff. So yeah, in doing that, I opened myself up to whatever was possible, including when people started to go down the deeper metaphysical roads, like telepathy and things like that. I'm like, I'm just a very open guy. I'm like, okay, well, bring it. Bring it. Let me see. Well, if you sleep out there and a dog man's going to come in, he's going to kill you. Okay, well, I'm going to go sleep out there. Let's see what happens. So I'm kind of like that, right? And I don't watch horror films because they scare me. But when I'm out in the bush, I don't feel the same way. I'm just like, especially if I get comfortable. So I always felt like, like with that experience, I shared it. It's too long of a story to go into here tonight, but I shared it because it was real. And that's the thing that I loved about it. I would look at you, through the camera, face to face, and go, yeah, I'm not buying it. If somebody's saying something, I'm just like, I'm not buying it. Or I've been here all night and I see what he's saying, but no, it's like people always pointing out Bigfoot in behind me, in shows that I've done. I'm like, we go back, we actually sometimes got rooked in, like, maybe we should look. And then we go in and we look and it's like, in high def, in the original raw footage, no, it's a leaf. It's a leaf blowing, but then it gets compressed 6 times before you see it on TV. It's Bigfoot going across people. So it was a heck of an experience though. And I would just say that, yeah, in my opinion, in my experience, I definitely experienced something of a voice nature that, in my lifetime, 3 times. That's it. So it's not like I walk around hearing people talk to me. It's just 3 times in the world. It's just like, so who knows? Maybe I'm delusional. I don't know, but it was fun. That was a fun series to make. Survivorman Bigfoot was probably the most fun I ever had on a series. I had my A-team with me filming it, and it was like me and these 4 other guys, and we just went around the country filming Bigfoot stories. It was cool. And then leaving me out in the wilderness to creep out behind a rock waiting for Bigfoot to show up. But didn't happen. But I might go out and do some more. Yes. Yeah, lots. Yeah, I don't know if I'd term it as spectacular. The question was, is there any spectacular footage I've lost due to camera malfunctioning? But I've lost lots of scenes, like a whole scene, And thank God that I would use 3 and 4 cameras, because sometimes I'd do that, and 2 of the cameras would crap out. There's 1 camera left, and it's a decent angle. It caught the moment. We can keep it in the show. But there were lots of times where I'd talk to my editor, hey, how's that scene with the snake? He goes, yeah, your mic crapped out. There's no volume, there's no audio. I'm like, really? Because I spent 3 hours filming something. So moisture, batteries, tapes getting to their end and me not noticing, all of that stuff, constant. And yeah, very frustrating. Lots of expletives were uttered to the trees out there. Cameras, we don't take the camera, just throw it. But you've got 4 more days, so you can't. So yeah, and that's, people have said to me, I tried to do what you did. Man, it was really hard with 1 camera, never mind 3. I was like, yeah, I know. It's really hard to film yourself. I was gonna do a Q&A the other week. I did do it, but I started it in my car. And I had to stop so many times because one camera, my dog knocked the camera over, the other one, the battery stopped, then that card was full, and I gave up. I'm like, okay. And that would happen imagine that now you're alone, you haven't eaten for 3 days, you're gonna do this scene where you're building your shelter or fixing your shelter, and you're hungry and you're lethargic, and then your cameras start crapping out on you. Yeah, it's very, very, very frustrating. Happened all the time. Yes, sir.
Really enjoyed your COVID series. Those were
Survivorman COVID. And by the way, I'll just interrupt you and say, I called it Survivorman COVID-19, right? And I would get corrected. Dude, it's COVID-19. It's like, oh, God, really? Anyway.
But my question was, did you prefer filming more by yourself or with another person, such as like the episodes with your son, which are great?
Mm-hmm. I way prefer filming with other people, depending on what it is I'm filming. So if I have to film myself, That's part of what I'm doing. I don't want anybody else there. I get into a mode on my own that has been honed over years of doing Survivorman that I'm really comfortable with. A flow of speaking, a way of thinking, a way of presenting. Now, I do this, but this time I bring you along because you're gonna run a second camera. I can't get into it. It's like it throws me off. But if I'm filming a different kind of show, like Shark Week or Beyond Survival or Bigfoot, the more the merrier. It's so much more fun. I mean, I was talking about this morning. Look, it's lonely. It's really lonely to be out in the bush by yourself. Try it for 6 hours sometime. It's lonely. Now try it for 6-7 days. But then the camera work became my salvation, because when I was lonely, I had work to do, and that refocused me. You know, I was like, okay, and I always had with me a little crumpled up piece of paper, and I would have written on it like, show the agave needle and thread rope making thing. I would write that down, you know. And because on day 4, I'd forget. I'd be sitting there lethargic. I wouldn't even know what to film, you know. And I'd pull out the piece of paper. Oh yeah, I haven't done that. And it would pick me up. And I'd go and shoot this scene on something I wanted to teach. And then after that, I'd fade back again, sort of thing. So it's a mixed bag, but certain things, like I think right now, I don't know that I could do a director's commentary anymore if somebody else was in the room, because I've done so many of them alone. I got a shtick going, you know, and I just don't want that broken. So I'll do a couple more. Yes, sir.
Other than the Bigfoot series, was there anything that you saw or heard that you just could not explain?
Well, not other than the Bigfoot series. I mean, but on my own, you know, similar stuff. I was telling the story this morning about, you know, being out very young, first time doing survival stuff, practicing, and I heard some screaming on the side of a lake. Sounded like, well, I didn't say this morning because it was mostly kids, but it sounded like 4 women in a satanic ceremony. I mean, it gave me the creeps big time. But it could have been porcupines. Could have been cougars. Different kind of cougar. So yeah, you know, if you're out there long enough, and one time I saw lights in the sky, you know. It's probably something very explainable, but I saw them and I couldn't explain them. That's all I can say. But that was actually while filming on the mountain in Radiant Springs. That was actually while doing the Bigfoot one. That was kind of strange. A couple more. Down at the far end there.
Yeah, when you are getting prepared to go out for 7 days, potentially without eating anything, do you ever, the night before or the morning of, just eat a ton of food?
Do I change my eating habits? Do I prepare for going out for my week of Survivorman? I never gorged and I never fasted. And here's my reason. I'm creating for you a scenario about survival. Now, I'm filming it, and I'm going to go home in a week, so I'm not really surviving, of course. So I have to try to filter it so it's as much of an actual survival experience as possible. And so a lot of times, but yet I still have to, as a producer, I have to set the scenario. So and I don't want to cheat in any way. And I always considered that, I figured that would be cheating, because you don't know when you're going to be in a survival situation. So I might set up a scenario in the desert that includes certain things so I can teach certain skills. But I'm not going to gorge the day before to add on some extra pounds, or the week before, because that never happens, right? I wanted me to be as psychologically and physically normalized to the situation as possible, so that then the reactions you see were real. And case in point would be different skills. If I found a survival skill that I'd never done before, I would not practice it before bringing it out on the show. Because I thought, no, this one, if I'm telling the average person, you know, you can do this, you know, you can get a fire going with a plastic bottle filled with water and the sun, and you can focus it in. So you'd see that, or the chocolate in the pop can, again, getting a fire going. You see that on YouTube. I'd go, okay, well, I'm just a regular guy who's lost. You know, I'm still teaching skills, I'm still filming it, but that one, I'm not going to practice that. I want you to see me doing it for the first time. That way, you see me fail, that's right, this ain't easy. You know, it would be silly if I just was successful all the time because I'm at home practicing it. No, okay, I got it now, good, I can bring it out on the next Survivorman episode. Nuh-uh, I just would do it, and like, oh man, and I failed. Now I don't have a fire, you know, so and then when I would get it, it was palpable. You knew that it was like, dude, you know, and it was because I hadn't practiced. You could see me, my happiness was real. So yeah, so I tried not to do any kind of preparations that I felt would be a bit of a cheat, sort of. One more on this side, yes, sir.
Is there anything expanding your career that you've already done? Is there something on your bucket list or something that you're still, this plateau I still want to reach? Or there's something that you want to do either personally or professionally that you haven't achieved?
Is there anything on my bucket list? You said other than survival? Or?
Yeah, whatever it may be.
Something I haven't, so it's a great question. So what have I not achieved yet that's maybe on my bucket list I want to do? So it's a great question because I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not a Tony Robbins or Tim Ferriss or any of those guys. But I do feel, coming from a very dysfunctional background with zero mentorship or guidance, nothing, no backup that way whatsoever, finding my own way through my teens, into my 20s, figuring it all out for myself, not really getting even any advice until I was in my 20s, way too late, that in effect, and I don't want to make this a brag, but in effect, I certainly found my own, didn't I? I found a way to live a really wonderfully effective life. I've traveled the world. I've done mostly everything I've ever done. But there is one thing that hasn't happened to me yet. And it's because I didn't focus on it. And you guys are here now. It's kind of the beginning of it. Is I would like to just one time do a concert just like this, with people just like you. And I'd like to start singing one of my songs, but the audience takes over because they know the song. That's something I've never done in my life. And you know, obviously, there's no room for me to be a pop star anymore. That ship sailed a long time ago. But that doesn't mean I can't write a really good song and I can't do something that resonates with people. And there is Arctic Mistress, for example, now. I played a concert once and I saw 4 people mouthing the words to Arctic Mistress. I'm like, oh, it's starting, you know? So yeah, that would be, you're gonna make me cry, dude. That would be a thing, for sure, yeah. You guys okay if I play a couple more? No? All right, let's do this. Why don't we do Arctic Mistress? Might as well, we just segued it. So this song, if you watch the video, which you can't right now, I pulled it down, I'm going to be putting it up again later. A friend of mine started writing the guitar part to it, and he wanted it to be really cold and icy. We had electric guitar, so it was more cold and icy sound, and he was playing me the rhythm, and then I started singing the melody and the lyrics to it. And I've spent so much time in the Arctic, it really, truly, if you ever get the chance, go, take it. It's at one of those places where they say, well, if you go, you have to come back again to it because it takes a little piece of your soul. And you always have to go back to reconnect. And it really is like that. I still miss the Arctic. And when we did the video, I had a couple of wonderful Inuit throat singers. The song, if you hear it, you can hear it on Spotify right now. But I am re-releasing the Mother Earth album on double vinyl coming out for Christmas time. So remastered. Yeah, fold out, it's like 1974. You fold out, there's the artwork, it's awesome, the lyrics, it's gonna be good. So, the song starts with throat singing. And these lovely women taught me how to do it, and they were kind of surprised that I picked it up really quick. Well, I picked it up quick because it's the same kind of breathing that I use for my harmonica when you're doing a short, choppy, the train thing. But we filmed them with me actually as well, and we did the throat singing on an iceberg, and we filmed it on the iceberg. And so that's in the video when you see the video for it. wanted to see the beautiful northern lights. I wanted to know if there was a reason to love a place so pure, so full of emptiness. Breathe the Arctic air. Breathe the Arctic air. I don't want to see the end of her frozen world. She shows me the snow and glaciers that melt into tears. She calls me back home. Lays like a beauty upon her bed of ice. This cold Arctic mistress. Breathe the Arctic air. Feel what she shares. Breathe the Arctic air. Breathe the Arctic air. Feel what she shares. Breathe the Arctic air. See how she cares, how she cares. Let's see here. I heard that just yesterday, I think. See if I can get this right. Just yesterday, they named a park, the John Prine Memorial Park in Muhlenberg County, Kentucky. I'm a big fan of John's. One of the very first and early and tragic losses from the pandemic with John Prine. Yeah, I'm still not over it in many ways, because man, the guy was a magician. But in any event, you know, you get influenced from here and there from different people, and so this next song, I don't know, I was in a John Prine kind of mood when I wrote this. So we'll take a little diversion into the land of love for a second. Let's call Look at Love. Some people look at love like it's a big fat fairy tale. Some people look at love like it's a long walk on the beach. Some people fall in love and it only makes them blue. I only fall in love when I'm looking at you. Others think of love like it's a sad and lonely song. Some people fall in love like they haven't had a clue. I only fall in love when I'm looking at you. I only look at love when I'm falling for you. I never think of love, I only want to make it. But when I notice love, I reach right out and take it. Some people fall in love and they don't know what to do. I only fall in love when I'm looking at you, yeah. Some people wait for love like it's a train bound for a station. Some others run to love like it's ice cream in July. Some people sprinkle love on everything they do. I only fall in love when I'm looking at you. I only look at love when I'm falling for you. I only look at love when I'm falling for you. Thank you. So let me take you back in time. Once again, let's go. We've fallen in love, so that's a good place to be, to take our love back to nature again. And I wrote this song a long time ago, and kind of like sort of like the Neil Young, Leonard Skinner thing, where you write one song and then there's an answer song, and then another answer song. It's a whole other story. The musicologists know exactly what I'm talking about. So I did this to myself. I wrote this first song I'm going to do, and then I had to write an answer song to it, because I divorced the first woman and then I remarried, and then so I had to make it right. So I played this song, and I rededicated this song, because originally this was based on the years spent living in the wilderness. But the thing about this is, listen to the lyrics, especially for certain lyrics. There's certain lyrics I write, and I think I'm playing right into the hands of those people who do get time out in nature, who go out into the wilderness. And so there's a line in this song about riding on wood and rawhide. And if I say that to you, unless you go snowshoeing, old school way, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And nowadays, yes, I have REI snowshoes too. But in the old, snowshoes used to be made of wood and rawhide. And so I love referencing the kind of lyric that goes back to my time when I was pretending to be Jeremiah Johnson, basically. It's called Northern Wilds. He said, I can take you with me, but I can't take you home. She'd never known such total passion, the way he touched her fingers, the way he let them go. So on the two would travel to the northern wilds, past waterfalls and tumbling rapids, across the lakes in stillness, beneath the eagle's cry they wandered. Nothing of this world could stop them, could ever take away these dreams of yesterday. They made love beneath the starlight, wrapped in northern lights. The caribou could hear them whisper The wolf would keep them company, calling in the night. And even in the winter, when most folks stay indoors, they rode upon wood and rawhide along the frozen highways, the creeks and forest trails. They wandered. Nothing of this world could stop them, could ever take away these dreams of yesterday. Life was made for living, and dreams were made to fly. These two were meant for something better, so they turned their backs on easy, and into the northern wilds they wandered. These two were meant for something better, so they turned their backs on easy, and into the northern wilds they wandered. And nothing of this world could stop them, could ever take away these dreams of yesterday. Thank you. So the answer song to that I wrote for my current wife. Is that the right way to say that? My current? Probably not, eh? It's like the Steve Wright joke. I don't have a girlfriend, but I do know somebody who'd be really mad if she heard me say that. So I wrote this. Really, it's about, if you get out in the outdoors, you'll recognize some of the places I'll take you here. But it started off with being about hiking in Oregon, which we've done 1,000 trails in Oregon now. Because I have a place down there. And I just wanted to celebrate that. It's called Take a Hike. Let's take a hike on a deep forest trail, rushing past pine boughs and fireweed. We'll know nature prevails. Let's cross a creek by stepping on stones and carrying day packs, apples and trail mix, our forest home. Yes, life is this easy if you'll take a moment to see. Nature is where we are free. So let's climb a mountain and sit at the top, feeling our hearts beat through our chests, never to stop. Let's ride the back roads on fat tired bikes, catching our breath as we race down the hill and turn to the right. Yes, life is this easy if you'll take a moment with me, 'cause nature is where we should be. In the natural world, all your problems unfurl if you'll take a moment to see. Nature is where we are free. Fall in love while while walking on snow. You can't love a place unless it's a place that you know. So let's take a hike on a deep forest trail, rushing past pine boughs and fireweed. We'll know nature prevails. Yes, life is this easy if you'll take a moment to see. Nature is where we are free. Yes, life is this easy if you'll take a moment with me. 'Cause nature is where we should be. Thank you. So I'm going to do this one. First time, this will be first time playing this. Actually, no, I played that one before. But this song I'm about to do is the first time I've ever played it publicly. I did it on YouTube. It doesn't really count. I did it last night with the wonderful podcast guys. And I want to, by the way, I want to say a big, huge thank you to Eric and the gang at the podcast of that show with those guys, because they're the ones who brought me here. And we've kept up a very weird relationship. And so I keep coming back. I'm glutton for punishment. They brought me here tonight, and I was on their podcast last night, so I performed it there too. But we have some nice sound here tonight. So I just wrote this. 2 weeks ago, and it should end up on the new album. I'm recording 2 new albums this month, actually, picking up and finishing off what I started in 2019. So now we're finishing those 2 albums, and they'll be out soon. But this one I just wrote, and I've submitted. I want to do this one, and this is it's called "Walk in the Wilderness." And you've got so much beautiful wilderness around you here. Holy mackerel. You guys don't have anything to complain about when it comes to beauty. That's for sure. You live in a beautiful area. So much gorgeous places that you can go. I mean, I look for places to walk my dogs, and it's easy. Sometimes it's not easy. It's easy here. You've got a lot of beauty. So. Doesn't seem to matter. It's neither here nor there. When you walk in the wilderness, where your life isn't such a mess, you can see she cares. I don't care who you voted for, which side you're on. So when you walk in the wilderness, where your life isn't such a mess, you can hear her song. She sings, I'm here for you. Heaven knows I'm here for anyone who feels alone. For anyone who needs a home. doesn't seem to matter. 'Cause no one seems to care. You can give to a charity, it only leads to disparity if no one wants to share. So I wake up every morning with rosy glasses on. Take a walk in the wilderness where my life isn't such a mess, just to hear her song. And she sings, I'm here for you. Heaven knows I'm here for anyone who feels alone. For anyone who needs a home. So don't wait till tomorrow. What if there's only today? Take a walk in the wilderness where your life isn't such a mess. You can hear her say, I'm here for you. Heaven knows I'm here for anyone who feels alone. I'm here for you. Heaven knows I'm here for anyone who feels alone. For anyone who needs a home. Thank you. Well, one more. I'm gonna do it. Play some rock and roll. Gonna need to stand. On the album, this has like an orchestra, Steve Vai playing the guitar solo. All you get is me and an acoustic guitar. song called Mother Earth. Speak to my soul, teach me my role, help me to know what I'm here for. Oh, Father, Son, fill me with life, peace in my mind, warmth in my soul and my body. Oh, Mother Earth, I hear you calling. Oh, Mother Earth, now I'm searching for you all my life. My Mother Earth, Mother Earth. head is your sky. We need to know you are living. Oh, Mother Earth, I hear you calling. Oh, Mother Earth, and I'm searching for you all of my life. My Mother Earth, Mother Earth. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out. This is a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you. See, I came out quick in case you left before the encore call was done. Let me do one more fun song for you, all right? Sit back down. No, look how quick they were ready to get out the door. All right, let's do, what are we at? Oh, we'll do this guy. We're gonna do one more song for you. It may actually invariably be the only actual dance song I ever wrote. But I have a, there it is. Come on, there we go. So, I busy writing songs like Mother Earth and other types of songs with a big, deep wilderness message and stuff like that. And at one point, you try to get tired of yourself and you're like, oh, come on, man, let's just have some fun here, right? So, this song came out of it. I was frustrated with everything that was going on. And the refrain of this is, ah, man, you ain't got nothing on me. It's called Nothing on Me. I wanna dance in the sunshine. I wanna sing in the rain. I wanna swim in the ocean, living in nature's refrain. Break it down. I wanna feel this forever, flying like birds on the breeze. I'm gonna make my own weather. I'm gonna live in the trees. You've gotta see this to believe. It's my heart out on my sleeve. This madness ain't got nothing on me. We are living wild and free. It's the only way to be. This madness ain't got nothing on me. Nope. No, this madness ain't got nothing on me. I wanna climb every mountain. I wanna sail every sea. I wanna feel this forever. Come share this moment with me. You've gotta see this to believe. It's my heart out on my sleeve. This madness ain't got nothing on me. We are living wild and free. It's the only way to be. This madness ain't got nothing on me. Nope. No, this madness ain't got nothing on me. Yeah. Oh, this madness ain't got nothing on me. Yeah. I think I wrote this song because when I get out in a canoe and I'm way up in Temagami, Ontario somewhere, the bush somehow. It's amazing how all the rest of what's going on fades away to nothing, and you just don't even care anymore. It's all about, where am I going to get some firewood? And that looks like a nice campsite. Nothing's more important than that. I want to dance in the sunshine. I want to sing in the rain. I want to feel this forever, living in nature's refrain. You've got to see this to believe. It's my heart out of my sleeve. This madness ain't got nothing on me. We are living wild and free. It's the only way to be. This madness ain't got nothing on me. No, no, this madness ain't got nothing on me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, this madness ain't got nothing on me. Yeah. Oh, this madness ain't got nothing on me. And just to show you my appreciation, if you wait around, I'll be out in the lobby in about 10 minutes, and I'll see you guys out there.
You guys want to do the drawing first before you leave? Yeah. Hey, Jacob, come here for a minute.
Thank you.
Here we go. Yeah, some of the stuff in there, like Survivorman, all the episodes and all that, and signed a bunch of stuff, so let's see.
The last three numbers are.
Yeah,
The last three numbers are 5, 5, 2.
Thanks very much. Just a little bit. Oops. There we go. You are. Thank you. No problem. Woo. Sorry about all that jumbling around. I'm doing this without not in stealth mode, so I can't tell if you can see me, but hopefully you can. Okay, guys, I'm gonna hang you up, and I'm gonna go out and sign some autographs. See you next time. Thanks, guys. Here's my